Hello, 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 everyone. Thank you for tuning in. This is Jaylee's Corner. I am, of course, Jaylee, and this is my review for Insecure Season 2, Episode 2. And yes, I have on lip gloss only because my lips sometimes look crazy on camera. So I'm like, let me be fancy a little bit and throw on some lip gloss just so that they don't look different. But I almost don't like it because it looks too damn shiny. But whatever. Thank you for tuning in. But first things first, if you have not done so already, please take a moment to subscribe to my channel. It does not cost you anything. It just lets you know when I have new videos up, new reviews up for the different shows and things like that. So you just hit the subscribe button. Boop. And that's really it. You can also share my videos. You can also like my videos. It is very much appreciated. There is also a comment section in the bottom. You can always scroll down and put in any comments about my review, about the show, and whatever you want to say, except the one rule for the comment section is please be respectful. No need to be disrespectful. Thank you. So, episode 2 was good. I like this particular episode. It was titled Hella Questions. And I get why, because this whole episode was about hella questions. Everybody had a question for somebody. So yeah. It starts off and we see that Issa's telling Molly that she fucked Lawrence. And she's like, you fuck Lawrence? And she had the same kind of shock that any friend would have when their friends say they fuck their ex. You surprised because you like, where the fuck did that come from? And again, we have to remember this season picks up 3 months after they broken up. So you like, y'all fuck? What happened? You know, why? Who? You know, it's all these questions. And I like, have y'all talked? You know, who initiated it? And when she says, well, have y'all talked? And she's like, well, yeah, what? No. We see that Issa has texted Lawrence, but Lawrence really has not responded. And so Molly cracking Joe, she's like, why you text him during rush hour? You know he's a safe driver, meaning when you text your ex, you need to know when to text him. If you know he goes to the gym for 2 hours a day and he don't check his phone, don't text him at that time. Text him when you know he like not doing shit. If you know he don't, text and drive, don't text him in the morning. Text him like around lunchtime. He probably checking his phone. That's what I would do. But yeah, Issa admits that she's confused, that she don't know what's kind of going on with them two. And Molly's like, well, what kind of fucking was it? Was it good fucking? Was it bad fucking? Was it I want you back fucking? Was it I hate you fucking? Everyone knows ex sex is always different. Sometimes it's just because y'all both could be horny. Sometimes it's because y'all both love each other. Sometimes it's like that. It's like a goodbye fuck. So that was the kind of question of, what kind of fuck was it? Issa said what kind of fuck it was, but I couldn't understand the word. Like I want to sneeze. That she said. But, I would have said it was bad fucking because it was only 30 seconds. It was about a good 20 pumps. So, I would be like, it was worthless fucking. Like, what kind of fucking was it, Jaylee? Worthless? Because, I can't do nothing with 20 pumps. Like, what? That was just for you. And then it was 20 pumps and you came inside me. So what if I'm pregnant? Did you take a plan B the next day? Like the same day? Like what really, I don't know. That's just me and my antics. So, Issa thinks that, the fact that he initiated them having sex is something good. That he is something that he's holding on to between them two. And Molly's like, oh, okay. It's the same thing you tell your friend. If your friend tell you, girl, my ex called me and you know what I'm saying, we had a little bit of a conversation. I think that means we gonna get back together. And sometimes you'll just be like, oh, yeah, girl, okay. You kind of agree. And Molly just kind of laid back on the couch. And then she sat up and she was like, did y'all have sex on this couch? And when Issa was like, well, yeah. I don't go when I go to my friends' houses. Sometimes I don't want to sit on their furniture. You know what I'm saying? Especially I want on the couch. Like, give me a steel chair that's folded up in the corner, because that's probably the safe bet of where to have sex at. You know what I'm saying? Because most people who are nasty, well, not even nasty, but people sometimes have sex all over their house. They have sex on their couches, on their dining room tables, just all kind of stuff. And so, you know what I'm saying? Certain people, I don't want to sit on your couch. I don't want to sit on your love seat. I don't want to sit on your ottoman. Can I get that stool over there in the corner that's still in plastic that's brand new? Or can I sit on that crate? Or you know what? I'm just gonna stand up right here. Cause you just never know. So yeah. We see Lawrence in the next scene. He's at his friend's house in his, garage working out. And first of all, the soundtrack to Insecure season 2 is gonna be banging. Like the songs that be playing, I be looking like, who is that? I like that song, so I can't wait to get a soundtrack to season 2. So anyway, so we do see Lawrence. He's working out. He's working on his aggressions. He's trying to get his feelings together. And we see he's also trying to reply to Issa's text. He doesn't know what to say. He's typing stuff like, everything is just kind of crazy. He's confused, but he doesn't send it. He keeps deleting it. And that's all we see about that. We do see Molly talking to her therapist, and she's talking about just basically her work issues where she doesn't feel appreciated. She feels like she's being underpaid. She goes beyond her means to work and work and work, and they kind of don't reward her for that. And she feels it's because it's a boys club and she's a woman. And we do know that that does happen sometimes in different, working environments. She's like, it should be okay. And her therapist mentions, you say should a lot. This should be okay. This is where I should be. Should. And she mentions to her, she just brings up, if everything that you think, if everything you want your life to be like, if you think your life should be like this, if that doesn't work out, would you be happy with how your life turns out? It makes Molly think, like, well, yeah, is that my issue? Because I think my life should be one way, and that might not be how it's working out. Would I be happy with the way my life is working out? Because me wanting someone to acknowledge me for something, it doesn't mean it's gonna happen. Would I be okay if that doesn't happen? It's what the therapist was trying to get her to see. So we next see Issa and her friends. They're at I think a little art show or something or whatever. And she admits, hey, I talked to Lawrence. And Molly's like, oh, what I talk about? Because she ain't talked to Lawrence. Her Lawrence fuck, but she wasn't saying that. And she's just saying how they stopped by, they talked in some form of way. And Issa's saying how she just doesn't want to move on, that she wants to wait it out, give him time to forgive her, because again, she cheated on him after them being together for 5 years. So she's giving him his space and his time to forgive her. And one of her friends is like, fuck that. You know what I'm saying? For 2 of those years, he was on your couch and he wasn't doing shit. So just move on. And she kind of doesn't want to, deal with that. She's like, no, I just want to wait. I'm not going to really do anything right now. And then the friend says, well, did he break up with the girl he was dating after y'all? Which Issa didn't know. So Issa's like, what girl? And she then finds out about the girl Tasha. So, of course, when somebody has a name, you can find who they are. So Molly does find the girl on IG. And she stopped. The friends are looking at her pictures, passing the phone along, cracking jokes about how bad her weave is, how she looked like she is, I don't know if it's like she was a stripper or something, whatever. But basically cracking jokes as friends do when you see the girl your friend ex is dealing with. And Issa's like, you know what? I'm not gonna judge that girl. I don't want to be petty. She doesn't matter. It's just about Lawrence. So then she goes to the bathroom and she has a conversation with herself in the mirror. And she's just like, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to do what I got to do to get my man back. And then when Molly walks in to check on her, she's like, pull that bitch's page up. Because now she wants to see the page. Because, you know what I'm saying, on one stand, you might not want to be petty. You know what I'm saying? You might want to leave it alone. But once you think about it, you look like, you know what? I do want to see, you know what I'm saying, who we fuck with right after we stop talking. And who we probably kicking it with. Now, let me see this bitch. Is how she was once she had her little rap battle with herself in the mirror. So, yeah. After that moment of her realizing, she wants to fight for what's hers. You know what I'm saying? She wants to still be with Lawrence. She goes to Lawrence's friend's house. First of all, Lawrence's friend, I feel like he's hilarious. I don't know what his name is on the show. I can never remember. I do know that he was on last season, and I think he plays his role very funny. I like him. So him and Issa are having this awkward chit chat. Because he knows she there for Lawrence, but he won't even say, "You looking for Lawrence? Lawrence ain't here." He's like, "Oh yeah, they built a Jamba Juice down the street. Yep, I go there and get some sometime." "Oh yeah, you still work with the kids?" "Oh yeah, that's good because when Obamacare is gone, they're gonna need your help." I mean, it was just funny. It was funny and awkward at the same time. And then finally, he tells Issa, he's not here. I'll let him know that you stopped by. She's like, "Okay, fine, whatever, I'll call him too." He then, as she's walking away, he's like, "Yeah, Issa, that conditioner you're using on your hair is helping your edges." What? I giggled that whole scene. His delivery of his character is very funny. He, to me, is the comedy relief because when he's on the episode, I'm like, laugh at his foolishness. So yeah. We then see no, shout out to who is it? Scott Foley and Regina Hall, who are playing the characters on the TV show that they always watching. I was like, that's Scott Foley, which is he plays on Scandal. He's Jake on Scandal. But yeah, him and Regina Hall is on this TV show, this fake TV show, which is a slave drama they're on. I'm like, oh, so they're doing cameos on the TV show in this TV show that they're watching, so that's cool. Anywho, we see that Lawrence is actually at Tasha's house. You know what I'm saying? Bang Boo. And, he's sitting there looking on like something's on his mind. He looks a little bit conflicted. And she's like, "Is you okay? Everything okay?" He's like, "Yeah, it's got some things on my mind, what I'm saying, that I got to deal with." And she's like, "Oh, you want to talk about it?" And he's like, her phone goes off and it's her mom or whatever. She's like, "Oh, yeah, my family's having a barbecue. And, I was actually going to invite you over to the barbecue." And then he's like, "Oh, well, and she's like, "You know what? No pressure, no pressure." And then he just blurts out, "I slept with my ex." And she's like, "What?" Like, not an angry what, but a what, like, what? A confused, "Did you just say that to me? What?" And he was like, "It wasn't planned. It just happened. I went over to get some of my stuff, and it just happened." For me, I felt like the reason Lawrence was so conflicted about sleeping with Issa is because I felt like maybe he could understand the same way she felt when she accidentally slept with someone. It's something that you didn't plan to happen, but it happened. While Issa and Lawrence have been together for 5 years, and she should have been more faithful because she was in a committed relationship. And Lawrence and Bang Boo, as far as we know, had only been sleeping together for the past 3 months. They might not have been in a committed relationship, but still, you was messing with somebody, and you went and saw somebody that you used to kick it with, and some kind of way, y'all end up having sex. So for my thing, I'm looking like maybe the reason he was so conflicted about it was because he could finally see it from her standpoint. Not meaning he thought what she did was right, but he was conflicted. He like, well, damn. The same thing she did to me, I did to her. So, yeah. Anywho, but, the girl, she was like, "So do you still, she was trying to ask him if he still loved her. Well, I don't know if she was going to ask him, did he still love Issa, or did he still want to be with Issa, or if he still wanted to kick it with her. I'm assuming she was going to ask if he still loved Issa since he slept with her, because his next words were, "I don't know, I don't know." And then she was like, "I think you should go." And he got up and he walked out. And she kind of was just sitting there looking like, just confused and everything. So, yeah, that's what it is. There was a whole scene with Issa and her coworker at the school. They go to talk to the principal, who clearly is a racist in some form of way against the Mexican students. They're basically asking him for more help within their program because it's not working out. And if it doesn't work out, they're going to have to end the program. And he said, "Okay, I'll get you some help." He then makes a joke, which is why I say that he might be, it's racist. Our school is overrun with these students. They're Mexican. He then says, maybe we should build a wall and make them pay for it. Okay. And he laughed. And of course, Issa, her coworker, did not. Her coworker happens to be white. And he's like, "Yeah, but what y'all have, I'll try to help y'all or whatever." When her and her coworker is out of that meeting and they're talking about it, where they then go to their room or whatever, and it's a whole bunch of kids there. Like the principal has helped how he said he would help, and there's kids there or whatnot. They then see the principal talking to a couple of the Mexican students in the hallway, and he's like, "Hey, we're in America. We speak English here. None of that Spanish shit." Which, you can't say that to people, sir. And so her coworker's like, we have to put this in our report. And Issa's like, why? Why we point out the one little bad thing, we're trying to do so much good. And, her and her coworker are basically on two sides of a coin. Whereas the coworker feels like he's racist and we should address it. And Issa's like, well, no, we should just ignore he gonna be who we gonna be. We can't change him. And the coworker brings up, I know minorities can't be I know minorities can't be like, I can't remember how she worded it, but basically saying even though he's black, he can't be like racist, so to speak. That's not the word that she used. I can't remember the exact line she said, but she was like, "But how would you feel if he was white and he was doing that?" And Issa was like, we just need to focus on what we need to focus on. And when they go outside and Issa's having a conversation with the guy, with the principal of the school, he's still like, yeah, I remember when school was, all black people. Now we're overrun with all these Mexicans, and it's just crazy, and we have to kind of just all stick together as black people. And he was just saying stuff that was, decisive. It was just not the right thing to say. If you're the president, if you're, you know what I mean? If you're the principal of this school, it just, is a little bit crazy. And it also makes her think, well, damn, he is kind of bad. But she doesn't say anything, but you can see on her face that she realizes what her coworker was saying. So, yeah. We do see Lawrence and his friend, the guy, who I think is funny, and he's cute, going to look at an apartment, because Lawrence has not had his own apartment in the past 3 months. Him and Issa has been broken up. And now that he's slept with Issa, he's told the girl that he slept with Issa. His friend is like, man, you stupid. Why would you tell her that you did it? You should have just not said anything. You were almost home free. What you do that for? He's like, man, I don't even know why I did it. It was so stupid. Why he slept with Issa. It was so stupid. He's like, but I had to tell Tasha. So they're looking at this apartment and they're walking through. And he's looking around like, man, I don't know. For me, the apartment looked cool. The apartment reminded me of the same apartment the guy in Dexter had on the TV show Dexter, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, he was walking through, and even though the apartment was in a great area, it was really nice. I'm sure he could afford it because he's been working and living rent free for 3 months. And his friend was like, it's a perfect place for you. He was still like, man, I don't know. For me, I'm like, I think the reason Lawrence had been not trying to really get his own place is because some part of him wanted to be back with Issa back at their apartment. So he wasn't trying to make that final step and really moving on by getting his own place. So he's looking at this new place, which looks cute. It's nice and everything. He's still like, I don't know. And the real estate person was like, well, it's a hot commodity, so it's not going to be on the market long. So we see that whole thing playing out. We also see Issa is looking at the girl's IG page. She's looking at different stuff. She's looking at her Facebook page as well. And she finds out that the girl works at the same bank Lawrence banks at. That's where he met the bitch. So she does follow that out. We see her drive into the bank. We see her going to the bank because she's waiting there, bank boo, Tasha's line. And, when she calls her up, she's like, oh, can I help you? And she's like, yeah, I want to open up an account. And then she punches the girl in the fucking face. Hilarious. But we find out that is her imagining it. She's really outside looking at the bank that the girl is in there. So, yeah. The next scene, we see Lawrence and Molly actually running into each other outside from somewhere. And they're just basically having a conversation. He was about to walk away, and they kind of weren't going to have a conversation. Then Molly kind of catches up with him again and asks him how he feels. And he's like, well, it's kind of, whatever. And she's like, yeah, Issa's having a really hard time, too. She feels really bad. He's like, really? Really? And she's trying to explain to him, she does feel bad. She feels horrible. She really does love you. She also says, Issa cheated but she's not a cheater. People should realize there is a difference in a person who cheated and a cheater. Um, People are human. So it's one thing if you have one slip, if you accidentally, in some way, sleep with someone one time, and you admit to doing it, and you feel horrible that you did it for whatever the reason may be that you did it. That's a person who cheated. A cheater is someone they just out here cheating. They fuck them. They just doing whatever. They're consistently cheating. They've done it more than once. They only feel bad if they get caught. Sometimes they don't even feel bad. They are here cheating. It's a difference. So she's saying, Issa did cheat, but she's not a cheater. She's not out here cheating. It's a difference. She did ask, do you hate her? And he's like, no, no, I don't hate her. And then she's like, would you be able to take her back? And then it cuts to Issa, who's still outside the girl Tasha's job. And as she's sitting in her car, Tasha is walking past. So Issa hides and ducks down in her car so the girl can't see her. Molly then calls her on the phone. And we find out that the reason Molly and Lawrence ran into each other is because Issa asked Molly to go to that area to bump into him. And Molly's like, well, yeah, I had to keep fake walking past him like 3 times for him to see me so that we can talk. And she's like, I'm sorry to tell you this. She's like, what did he say? What happened? And she's like, sorry, East. He's done. He's over you. He even bought, signed a new lease for a new apartment. He's going to move into his own place. And for Issa, that is heartbreaking. It's like, okay, if he get in his own place, it's over. And if he told you he's over you, it's really over. So, of course, Issa looks sad. We see Lawrence next. He's outside Tasha's dang on apartment. And she comes outside and, he's telling her how he's sorry. That it shouldn't have happened. It was a mistake and how she did not deserve him sleeping with Issa on her. And she's like, it's okay, we wasn't exclusive or anything like that. So, it's fine, it's whatever. And she's blowing it off like, you did it. Yes, it was wrong, but we didn't say we were exclusive. But he's still saying, yeah, but I still shouldn't have did it. I'm still sorry. And she's like, well, all right, well, I gotta go back in the house and cook. And he's like, well, okay. And then he starts to walk away. And she was like, you hungry? I ain't like Tasha. You know what I'm saying? Because she gets on my nerve. Because that's Issa man. But at the same time, Tasha didn't do nothing wrong. I mean, even in season 1 when she was kind of flirting with him, once he said to her, I got a girl, she did back off. You know what I'm saying? Once he said, I got a girl, she backed off and she left that man alone. So, I can't really dislike her now because Lawrence went over there and slept with her. Him and Issa, well, they have just broke up. I don't know. But I mean, her when she said that, you hungry? I was like, aw. Because I mean, her feelings are involved too. So, I get she was probably hurt from it too. And he was like, I can eat. So, that whole thing. So then we do see Issa. She's at her apartment. And she's hanging clothes up on her side of the closet. And you see her pause and realize, I can put stuff on both sides. Because, Lawrence don't live here. He ain't coming back. So she starts putting stuff from her side of the closet, from when her and Lawrence share the apartment, and she's putting stuff on the other side. So she's taking up both sides of the closet. We also see how she takes her pillow from her side of the bed and put it in the middle. It's that transition that women have, or even men for that matter, when you live with someone and you're used to sharing something. So you're always on your side of the bed. You're always putting stuff on your side of the closet. But you have to realize it's not us anymore, it's me. So it was her having that realization that her and Lawrence were really, really over. We also see how she picks up her phone and she pulls up her Tinder, and it's like, it seems like it's a message that she had been kind of ignoring for a minute, and she replies, you want to fuck? And she puts, she sends the message, she puts the phone down. Kind of just that was the thing of, okay, I have to move on with my life. I got a whole closet. I got a whole bed. I can go on Tinder and have sex with people. And that's how the episode went off. So, I mean, for me, it was a good episode. I did like it. I want to see what else happens this season. What else? Did I miss anything? I don't think I missed anything that, matters per se. But, yeah. So, that was my review of Insecure from tonight's episode. And you can please subscribe to my channel. You can like my videos, subscribe to my videos, and put comments at the bottom, but be respectful. All disrespectful comments will be deleted. You will be blocked. And I will probably report your comment to YouTube, okay? Thank you. Until next time, people. Peace.